Hi everybody, welcome to my hobby space. Let's see what's on the disc. Wow, some popsicle sticks, some extra parts, some sprues, maybe an extra mini or two. You can make yourself a pretty decent Warshrine. Today I'm working on a 3D printed war elephant from Clay Cyanide Designs. And the Slaves to Darkness faction has a thing called a Warshrine. You could say it's a classic model. You could also say that's a really old model. I didn't like that the Warshrine was carried by two huge demonic monsters. The Slaves to Darkness army that I was building was mostly mortal men riding horses and marauding along the wastelands. I didn't think two big monsters would fit in with that theme. These are old sprues. This is just one of many bags that I've got laying around. I'm going to take some of these sprues and some nippers. I'm going to chop up the sprues into pieces that I think will make a good platform to go on top of that war elephant. But first, I got to figure out how big to make the platform. I've taken the end off of this Warhammer box. It's also filled up with sprues. Seems like a little bit too big on the sides. That's not quite right either. How do I fold down the sides? Let's test it out with a man on it. Yep, I think this will be the right size. Alright, let's get cracking along. So I need to take these sprues and make something about this big. Well, let's snippy. I kind of want to make it bendy. Just flat seems boring. Kind of like to make it go whoop and out, so it's kind of got some more appeal to it. Watch out. If you're not holding these extra pieces, they'll shoot off like little bullets, and don't want my wife or my kids stepping on these little pieces. So now I've got this piece. Just kind of glue them together so we get a nice shape. Here, just got some bog standard crazy glue. Put a little drop on there. Try not to glue your fingers together. Should be good. Just for a test anyway. Let's bring back the elephant. Hey, looky there. That'll go on here. I'll make another one over here. Now to keep them from falling over, I'll have to put some cross braces going from this one to this one. I've got some other sprues, I'll just glue them together. I'll be right back. So here's what I've got. Original piece going over there. You can see I got some cross beams going here and there across the back, and I put these in here. I don't know if they're necessary or not, but I figured to give it some rigidity. This is just going to go right there, just like that. Let's look at it from the side. I'm going to use a portion in the front here for the rider. I'll use a raised section in the back here for the shrine. This blue tacky stuff is pretty good. It's meant for holding posters on the wall, but it's really good for mocking up your pieces. Wait for me! So I've got some basic popsicle sticks. And I've got a flush cutting saw. It's simple, and I can do it inside without making noise. So I'm going to cut up some of these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got these all cut up, and I think it's time to glue them down. Now if these aren't perfect, that'll be okay for my army. And they're just marauders running around. They're not really great craftsmen maybe. I mean, it's not going to be crappy. It is a Warshrine after all. But it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's keep moving on. This is going to go across here in the center. I'm just going to eyeball it. I think it's going to look pretty boss. Maybe we should double check to make sure it fits. Got our elephant. This is going to go right about there. Now let's put some blue stuff on the bottom. I should put the head on there, huh? So that's what it's going to look like. These are all the extra bits I've got from my chariots. Except for that. That's from something else. What the heck was that from? Glue them to a toothpick, cut it off, put one on each wing. So it'll look something like that. I think it'll look cool, but it needs to be raised up a little bit higher. I'll have to find something to put there. Collar, you cut this flat on the bottom, get rid of these springs. And then I'll stand it up here on the front. These horn pieces would also look really cool in the back here. I kind of like the way that looks. I cut a notch in a toothpick. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it together. Like that. Then I've got my handy little miniature hole driller. I'm going to put a hole here and over here. And put my toothpick in and use that to hold it in place. I'm just going to drill a little hole. Sorry, my hands are in the way on this one. Let's test it with a toothpick. Looks good to me. If anyone's got any tips for a really good way to glue or any good glue that you recommend, please put a comment down below. I just jammed these toothpicks and shrine pieces into a piece of cork so that the glue would dry and they wouldn't stick to anything. But looking at that, I'm thinking that could be a pretty cool terrain piece just on its own. Okay, next up I'm going to glue on my horns. They're going to get glued up on the back here. Okay, next let's put on these guys. I think I was going to have them like this. Okay, and we'll do the one on the other side. I'm going to go very little touching up here, so I think I'll fill up those gaps with baking soda and fill them in with crazy glue and baking soda. Reinforce those. I've taken this piece and I've cut off the bottom. I took a little bit of sandpaper and I sanded that flat. Don't worry, it'll all come together in the end. There's no mistakes when you're hobbying. It's just fun and experimentation, right? Then I had the idea to take these marauder flails, which I never use, and a bunch of them laying around, and use these to hold it up. It'd be pretty stylistic looking, I think. Do the same on this side. Not bad. If you're having trouble with crazy glue, just put some baking soda on, and they bond nearly instantly. I don't know why. I don't know what the chemical reaction is behind it. If anyone does know, please put it in the comments down below. It's always fun to figure stuff out and know why things are doing what they're doing. When you're done with this step, just take an old brush and kind of brush off anything else. That's how it looks right now. When I woke up this morning, I took an old cork from a wine bottle that I had. I decided to use half of the wine bottle, cut flat on one face, and I decided on this because I found this kind of cool little piece of broken terrain on a Fomaroid Crusher's sprue. You're welcome. Feel free to use it. Ah, da 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 da. I figured I'd make like a nice idol. On the actual Warshrine, there's an axe sitting behind the rider. So I cut another piece of the cork, and I'm going to glue this axe, which is also from the chariot. I'm going to glue that down here, like that. Wow. Hope he doesn't fall down. Fall on that axe, he's gonna get hurt. That's a true and proper Warshrine. There's a few gaps right in here. We fill those up with baking soda. And I'm going to use a water. There's different kinds of crazy glue. I'm using a watery kind. It really seeps in and soaks into the baking. It really soaks into the baking soda. Just a wee little bit right there. Just a wee little bit right here. Presto. There's a little gap here in the neck, but down here it's perfect. I'm gonna fill that up with my baking soda. Okay, that looks like it's filled up. It'll be hard to tell until I get paint on it. I think they look good with rocky textures. To get the rocky texture, I just took some cheap cork that I bought at the dollar store. Pull off the edges so it's not all square. Gives you a pretty good war-torn rocky surface. It's kind of soft, so I'll do my standard baking soda and crazy glue to make it look interesting. Find out where I want him to be first though. Corky pieces on here to make the ground a little bit more natural looking. It doesn't have to be a lot, it's just got to be enough to raise it up and keep the ground from being really flat. I'm going to glue those down, then I'll glue him down. What we're going to do next is just kind of douse this baby in powder. Drizzle this on, starting with the cork. Because you want the cork areas to be especially hard. If we miss the other areas, that's okay. But the cork areas we want to be really rocky looking. For our grand finale, I'm going to glue him to his base. So there you have it, everybody. That's my Chaos Warshrine for my Age of Sigmar Slaves to Darkness army. I think he came out pretty well. I like the way that the shrine looks. He's off center on the base. I didn't mean to do that, but it gives it a bit of dynamism, which I like. That's it for now. I hope you liked this video. If you've got any questions about what I've done for the base, where I got the model, my techniques for making the shrine, or where I've got any of these pieces, feel free to put a comment down below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you could hit that like button and that subscribe button down below, that'd be great. It'd really help me out. Come back for more videos where I make some more models, maybe do some painting, and just kind of show you what's on the table. Best of luck with your modeling and your painting. And I'll see you next time. Ouch. Let's go the other way.